I can't.
This is America. Don't catch you slipping now.
Saw a comment on my guy SIF's channel, had to do it. But anyways, yo, what is up guys, and welcome to InfernoKun, back with The Walking Dead, the final season, talking about episode 2, Suffer the Children. Of course, it is releasing on September 25th, but in the meantime, I have a bunch of discussions I want to do. Starting off with this one, the whole AJ ending where he kills Marlon, man. Why did he do it? How did he do it? And what are the consequences for this action? Because this is a pretty big offense, okay? AJ already has his first murder on his hands at around the age of 6 years old. Already, and that's crazy, okay? So what made this moment happen? Okay, so go ahead and break down the event at the end, okay? Obviously, AJ was told to go ahead and stay in the room. He didn't listen. He was worried for Clementine, and of course he started pulling the gun at Marlon. Now, Marlon, of course, could have handled the situation a lot better than he did. So the death was, you know, not entirely his part, but he kind of had it coming, okay? A little bit. I'm not saying he deserved it, but he kind of, you know, was going a bit crazy and had everybody worried about the whole killing Brody thing. And he even admitted to, you know, giving away Sophie and Minerva, okay? So there were a bunch of things going over there, and AJ probably saw him as a hostile individual, okay? So harper back to the beginning of the episode in episode 1, where we go ahead and establish our rules with AJ, okay? You can go ahead and say various things like, say the last bullet for yourself, always aim for the head, and don't hesitate. And he uses those as his, you know, excuse at the end for why he did it. Clementine wasn't being very specific. She didn't really explain that, hey, use this for walkers or people who are armed and dangerous. So in that case, it's a little bit of Clem's fault for not being very specific, but that's what I think about that as of right now. You know, Clementine could have been a little bit more specific, because AJ, he is susceptible to suggestion at such a young age that he takes everything pretty literally. And since that happens, he took that literally. For me, I said always aim for the head, and he did aim for the head. Clementine did not really specify who, what, or when to aim for the head. And that was just a little mistake on Clementine's part. Now, for the most part, it would have been cool to have Marlon actually be determinate, or maybe just have different ways to handle him as a person. Now, I understand, you know, why they wanted to do it, because it's the ending, shock value, things like that is very, very important. But I would have loved to have Marlon in a cage in the basement to handle, or to have like a little moral compass type of person down there, kind of just, you know, reflecting on his ways, and you can come down to him and talk to him about various things you did in the episode. That would have been very cool, but of course that is not what we're getting here. He is dead no matter what you do, which, you know, can be a good thing or a bad thing for the most part, but I wish that he could have been determinate, in my opinion. But, you know, AJ, what was going through his mind when this happened, okay? So AJ, of course, he's around 5 to 6 years old, okay? He was born in the apocalypse. He doesn't know his parents. He never even met them, or never even got to experience life with them. And so he did not really grow up learning things like, you know, manners and how to treat people. And that's why he's so different from Clementine. Looking at Clementine when she was younger, she had her parents in her life, okay? They taught her how to be nice. And Lee was there to just go ahead and reinforce some morals that he felt like should have been stronger in Clementine. Clementine already knew right from wrong. She already knew that, okay? Various different choices you make, Clementine had an opinion on them. But AJ, he seems to, you know, ask you about various different things, and he seems to favor violence. Okay, you can see this with going ahead and killing the Walker couple. They aren't people. He shows no empathy for who they were. But also in the Abel scene as well, if you go ahead and push him out, he favors that. And if you let him, you know, steal food, he harpers back like, oh, we shouldn't be so soft. And that definitely shows what kind of person AJ really is. Essentially, he's a savage individual, okay? He's very, very mean, very savage, very, you know, unempathetic. and it's kind of showing because he really had no parents to teach him right from wrong, to teach him from sharing with 10, various things like that, the colored pencils, and even the police officer's toy like that. It definitely shows in his character, which I think that is very, very, very great writing, okay? It's very good because AJ isn't the same as Clementine was, and it shows in various different ways that make sense. Now, how will the boarding school react to this, okay? Obviously, we end off with everyone just being shocked, okay? And obviously, that isn't the last of the reactions that will be happening, okay? Lewis was very, very, very close to Marlon. They were best friends. They've been together for a very, very long time. So I would imagine that Lewis would be the most affected by this. So how will Lewis react, and will it actually affect Clem's relation with Lewis? That could be a possibility, but what about the rest of the boarding school? How will they react to this, especially 10, for example, okay? Before he died, Marlon died, he mentioned that, of course, he admitted to giving away Sophie and Minerva, okay? So that obviously is a very, very bad thing, and they were not happy about that. So, will the boarding school just be like, okay, he gave up Sophie and Minerva, he deserved to die? You know, I'm not entirely sure, because it was essentially cold-blooded murder of an unarmed man, okay? He dropped the gun, or you took it away from him, so they might see that as not being the best way to handle this, as it was so sudden of a death. That could be, you know, what happened there. So, how will the boarding school, you know, what will they think? Who will take charge now, okay? Will Clementine immediately take charge, or will someone be like, yo, Clem, that's not cool. We're gonna lock you in your room for now and discuss about it with the boarding school. That could be an option we have in the episode. You know, we'll see about that, but I'm not sure if Clem will take control immediately. That'd be a bit too rash. I would think that Lewis could be acting, maybe, because he is kind of Marlon's best friend, but he isn't the leader type of person, okay? He's more the jokester, and I can't really see Lewis temporarily commanding the boarding school kids, you know? Clementine, of course, she will end up being in control, but I'm wondering, will it be immediately, or will they have more of a reaction to what AJ did? And how will this affect AJ, okay? The death, will he feel like it was justified? You know, that's kind of the big point here. Clem has to tell him that that was not the right thing to do, and he has to pretty much just rebuild his relation with the kids there, so they won't think that he's just a you know, cold-blooded killer amongst them. So what do you guys think about all I said in this video? Very, very, very big things here that could happen in the next episode. As far as I think we actually might get locked in our room for a little bit. Judging by the whole slide in episode 2, of course it's called Suffer the Children. You can see AJ laying down and Clementine sitting down as well. They aren't looking too happy. They might be locked in their room. I'm not sure that's very accurate of the episode, but that could be the case here. A temporary lockup. But I have some questions for you guys. What do you guys think is going to happen after the death of Marlon, okay? I think Lewis is going to freak out, and they might, you know, turn on Clementine for a little bit, lock her in her room until they cool down and just talk about it in a more calm, collective manner. That could be what I think is going to happen. And also, do you guys think that Marlon deserved to die right there? I don't think that he did, okay? He fucked up real bad. He gave up Sophie and Minerva in exchange for safety. But that's the reason, for safety. He did it for a very, very good reason. It was not a good trade at all. But he had the best interest in mind for the boarding school at a very, very huge cost to Sophie and Minerva, who could possibly still be alive. But I'll save that for a different video. So that's pretty much it from me. Comment down below your theories and questions and answers as well. It's been a pretty interesting discussion thinking about what's going to happen in the next episode after this huge event happened, and just why AJ did it. Does he just have Carver's blood in his veins that makes him just, you know, very violent? I'm not sure about that, but, you know, I saw a cool comment that said the boarding school kids will actually be burying Brody while Lewis is the only one burying his friend Marlon. That would be sad if that's, happening. Imagine that, everyone's just mad at Marlon for giving up Sophie and Minerva, and no one goes to bury Marlon with Lewis. That would be very, very sad. So enough of that. Comment down below. If you guys did enjoy, go ahead and leave me a thumbs up and subscribe for more content on the channel. I'm InfernoKun, and I will catch you guys next time on The Walking Dead.